Well, hello everybody. It's Rhonee with Whippet Chain. I work with Maggie and Lauren, and this is another video for Textured Tuesdays. We're trying to bring you a textured stitch every Tuesday for this 2023 year. I'm sorry, it's Super Bowl Sunday, so my mind's in 15 directions, so I apologize. Anyway, this stitch was a suggestion from Maggie. It's called Apache Tears, and it's beautiful. And surprisingly, this pattern is perfect for beginners. The one thing about this pattern, there's a couple things that I'm not the biggest fan of, but it's worth it. The first thing is the back is just plain, so that definitely has a front and a back. And each row you have to cut off your yarn and change yarn because you always crochet on the front of the project. So it does cause a lot of tails to be weaved in at the end of the project. But if you're working on it every night or whenever you work on it, leave enough time at the end of each session to do your tails before you put it away until the next time, and then you really won't have a large amount of tails to weave in. But it's beautiful, and it starts with single crochets, and you can end with the top with a single crochet border. Perfect. And on the side you can do a whole wrap around a single crochet and end the project that way, or put on a frilly or whatever kind of border you want. So it's a very easy stitch to learn to have borders put on it. But again, it's called the Apache stitch. It's beautiful. It as you can see. Now you can use as many colors as you want. I definitely recommend at least 3. You probably could pull it off with 2, but my personal recommendation would be 3. So for this project, for this, I used a 6mm hook, and I just used different colors of I Love This Yarn, and I also have Karen 1 pound. So I do recommend their acrylic yarn for this, but you can do it in cotton. I have not done it. It'll probably turn out just a tad, it'll look smaller because of the yarn, but it's pretty. And just for purposes for today, I'm using Karen 1 pound. It's called Light Violet, and the other one is Terracotta for the Karen 1 pound that I'm using, and this is just white. Okay, now the stitch multiples for this is 6. Once you get the length that you want, at the end of that, it's 6, 6, 6, and continuing. When you're done, add 3 stitches. That's it. Multiples are easy. So let's just dive into this. I'm going to do a very small sample. So you start with your slip stitch, slip knot, and remember you crochet in multiples of 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and one more for me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But you continue on until you get the width that you would like. When you're at the width that you need, I just need you to add 3 more stitches. Okay, so now I want you to turn your chain over and look at the, I'm going to bring you in so you can see each stitch has these little humps on the back. Okay, that's what we're going to be working in just for this row. So on the front of your chain, you put your finger on the second chain from the hook right there. Then you flip it, and right there's your hump. So I want you to go in that, and we're going to put 1 single crochet in just every loop. 1 single crochet all the way down. as you get started on this for the back, usually once you got your first one done, the rest of these will pop up. You should be able to see them. And I'll repeat what I say. It's usually the starting of a project is always the hardest. Okay, I will see you at the end of this, okay? Okay, we are at the end. So now what I need you to do is I need you to chain one, and I need you to cut. Let's zoom you out a little bit. Cut it and pull up your yarn. And we're always going to work on this part that's facing us where we just crocheted down. So you always stay on the front of the project, okay? All right, I want you to grab another color. I'm going to use my light purple, violet. Now, with starting, just make a loop over your hand. Do not put a slip knot to start, okay? So what you do is you put your hook in your first stitch. All right. I need you to bring you in just in case you need to see a little more. And then you put your hook over the next color. You pull it through. And then I want you to chain one. Then I want you to go back in that same stitch. If I can get it together today. You go in there and just do a single crochet. All right. Now, in all the stitches going down except the very last one, I want you to do just a back loop only single single crochet. So if you watch, you have the chain that's closer to you, and then you have the back loop of the chain that's farther away. You want to use the farther away one. Just go in and do single crochets all the way down. I'm hiding this tail, so this is another tail that I don't need to worry about later on. So it's just single crochets in the back loop only, all the way down, but stop before you do your very last one. Just back loop, single crochet. Get that out of my hair. Just go all the way down. All right, now I have one stitch left. I want you to do a regular full single crochet. So you take the one that's farther away and the one that's closer to you, do both, and just do a single crochet in that last one. And you'll be doing that throughout the whole pattern. Chain one and cut your yarn and pull tight. Okay. Now, my recommendation would be go back to your base color, whatever that one was, and white is for me. So, again, put your hook in the first stitch, grab onto your yarn, pull through. I don't know why I'm struggling today, and do a chain. And then you go right back into that same stitch and you do a single crochet. Remember, that's what you will be doing in the front and the beginning and the end of every row on this. Okay, so now let's get rocking and rolling. All right, so now you did your first stitch. Since you did back loops only, I had to check some. Now you will have the front of those chains in the first row that you did. See them? They're right here. Everyone. So I want you to wrap the yarn around your hook. I want you to go up underneath and go in and under that chain. And you grab it. Grab some yarn, come back through it. And then you're just going to finish off your double crochet. Okay. So now, since you did that, you skipped that chain. So skip one stitch, you go to the next, and you will put in 5 single crochets, back loops only. So this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now we're going to do a double crochet in the chain from the stitch below. Okay, skip a row. I feel like I'm doing it wrong, but I don't think so. Anyway, so you go all the way down. No, I'm not doing it wrong. It feels it. The beginning's tough sometimes. So here's your stitch. Go in there, grab it, and then you proceed to do a double crochet. Now you skip that stitch since you did a front one, and then you just do 5 again. Back loop only, 1, 5 single crochets, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Cut that yarn off. After you do your 5, you wrap your hook, and then next stitch, go down below and grab that front, that chain right there, and you do your double crochet. So you skip that stitch, and then the next 5 stitches you do back loop only single crochets, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And if your counts are right, you'll have 1 stitch left, and you do a full single crochet in the last one. Then you chain 1, and then you cut. And that's what it should look like right now. Okay. Now you grab another color, going back to the front, put your hook in, weave your yarn around, bring it through, chain 1, and do a full single crochet in that same stitch. Okay. Then I want you to put a single crochet in top of that double crochet stitch that you did. Okay. Then you wrap your yarn and you go into your next. Now your next row is what would be for me for the purple, because that's skipping a row. So go down underneath, you grab it, and you do a full double crochet. Then you skip that one stitch so you know where you're at. You put in, if your counts are right, you put in 5 back loop only single crochets. So that's 2, 3, 4, and I landed right on top of the double crochet. 5. Wrap your hook. You go back down that bar right there, go up underneath it and grab some yarn and pull through and do your double crochet. So then you look, you skip your stitch, and then you put in 5 back loop single crochets, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And you keep repeating this all the way to the end. One, 2, 3, and 4, and that's correct. Then you put in a full single crochet, and then you chain 1, and then you pull. See what I mean about all your ends? Now what I do is I rotate colors in between white. So I'll do white again. And you do again, you slip your hook into the first stitch. Grab your yarn, come on through. Chain 1 and do a single crochet. And then you back loop single crochet to your reach your first double crochet that you did, and 2. Then I go down right here, go on the bar and do my double crochet, and then you skip that stitch, then you do back loop only single crochets and your count to should be 5, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then you do your double crochet into that front post. See? And that is the pattern. It's a very easy pattern, and that's what I like about it. It's really good for the beginners. It's a very nice, it's textured, but it's softly textured. It's not full of 100 pieces of texture, but it is textured and it's nice. And once you get going on it, it's really, the pattern's easy. And the front and the last stitches, remember, always end on a full single crochet. I think I cut my wrong yarn. See? Yep, I did. That's what I get for. I don't take these segments out when I make a mistake, and the reason I do that is when I do make a mistake, I can show you how I corrected it. And I like that, because you need to know I'm as human as the next person. I'll do wrong things or make an error, and it's okay. So I meant to cut this yarn, my tail, but I cut my working yarn. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And I want to keep that knot in the back, so there we go. Then wrap it, go down to your post, and do a double crochet. And at the end of this, you could weave in those tails. And then you go back to back post, single crochets, which now should only be 3. Then you do a full regular single crochet, chain 1, and cut, and pull your yarn through. So my next color is yellow. Purple. And I haven't drank anything today, guys, so you can laugh at me. This is sober. Could you imagine if I was drinking anything at all today? Yes, I'm one of those normally clumsy people. Chain 1, and you go back in the same stitch and do a single crochet. Then you back loop single crochet again until you hit your double crochet, and then you do the front post. And that is how you do this pattern. You just continue this until you get to your desired length that you want. Now eventually you'll run to the end, and then you start the first row again. So you just go back and you repeat row 1, or actually row 2. Now let's try it again. 1, 2. Row 3, you repeat row 3 again. And that's it. You just keep repeating, repeating, repeating until you get to the desired length that you want. Now you need to remember your first and your last stitch is a full single crochet through the whole chain. And here on the very first row, when you're doing it, it's you do your first chain, your full chain, and then you go immediately right down. That's how you restart your rows. But here it is again. Isn't it pretty? Apache Tears. And it definitely has texture to it. Gorgeous. Well, I want to say thank you for watching this series that we started this year. I hope you're getting a lot of enjoyment out of it. And I look forward to talking to you next week. Please, if you enjoy our videos, hit that like button and subscribe button at the bottom. And come find us on Facebook under Whip and Chain. And if you have any questions or want to see a special tutorial because you need to learn something, come join us. You can request it on the page and I will get on it as soon as I can. Until next time, everybody, have a great day and go Chiefs. Bye-bye.